Hey, we forgot to record a new intro for this one. So, this is our Deathwatch actual play. Deathwatch is a TTRPG written by Cubic7 and produced by Fantasy Flight Games. And the characters are Sala, played by Tom, August, played by Zarek, Dima, played by Aaron, Barbus, played by Croc, Garfield, played by Ed, and Konstantinos, played by Maxi. I am Varvras, your GM. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Squad Ignis, this is Watch Captain Varvras. Coming in. Do you read me, Squad Ignis?
Squad Lead, I've confirmed communications. Link in if you haven't already.
Confirmed, Watch Captain.
Sala, it's good to hear your voice. I have not been sat idle since your mission to Kleist. The Tau have knowledge of the Biophage, and I have uncovered a cadre of traitors within our midst. Mechanicum turncoats, who have sold their souls for Tau techno-sorcery. You are the only squad close enough to respond to this. Time is of the absolute essence. Gracchus is already en route, and I have a drop pod resupply loaded and waiting.
And there is more sounds of battle and conflict. Effectively, think you hear the Watch Captain's hammer be brought down on something metallic, which explodes in a wrench of screeching metal.
The Mechanicum forces that we rescued from Outpost Zeta were compromised. We brought in more personnel who were also compromised. This entire operation is a shit show from start to finish.
Once again, there is more sounds of battle, gunfire.
I and my personal kill team are eliminating the threat upon the Lance of Penance. But a small cadre has escaped, stealing a shuttle and heading down to the surface of the planet with 3 canisters of the Biophage. I am transmitting the presumed coordinates that we have of their destination. It is a small Tau town, far behind enemy lines and strongly garrisoned. You are the only kill team close enough to respond. You must retrieve these Biophage canisters, else the entire initiative will be for naught. And bring these traitors to justice. Do you understand?
Yes, Watch Captain.
There is no time for resupply. Gracchus will be doing a flyby pickup. You have unlimited usage of the Corvus Black Star. And I have installed a locator beacon within your resupply, which, should you have desperate need of aid, activated so. You are going up against a full Tau garrison force. With what you have, and in the condition your squad is currently in. There is no other choice, there is no other option. The Watch demands. You are the shield that slays.
Sala's just going to quickly respond. Understood, Watch Captain. By the will of the Emperor, we'll see it done. And so Sala's going to... I mean, obviously the whole squad heard this, right? Heard the whole thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Brothers, it is time. Rally to me. Gather yourselves. Martian adepts have turned against us. I care not for your fears, doubts, or emotions. Harden your hearts. This is for our honor.
Yeah, after he says that, August grabs him by the cup, the one that's bearing Ignis Renatus, and August looks him straight in the eye.
This is your chance, Sala.
As August looks Sala in the eye, August can see something, an emotion in Sala's eyes. It could be worry and doubt, but it could also be misconstrued as a determination, a resoluteness. And Sala just says through almost, not quite gritted teeth, but almost through gritted teeth, he says, "If only the rest of the squad was like you, August." And he puts his helmet on and sheaths Ignis Renatus and starts moving towards the nearest location for the group to squad up.
That would be Constantinos. Everyone heard that Vox broadcast from the Watch Captain, by the way. It was fully, squad Vox. Alright. I assume everyone is rallying up for exfil, to essentially exfil and go to the next mission.
Yes.
Yes.
Traitors in our midst. Unthinkable.
In response to Barb's comment, no one but August will notice, but in response to Barb's comment, Sala is just going to strike his eyes over at Garfield before bringing them back again.
The squad has now, I assume, including Dima and Garfield, has rallied up to Constantinos, right?
Oh, rally. Yes.
Yes, alright. Okay, so you all stood around for a minute or two. Would anyone like to talk with each other? Because that's how long it's going to take Gracchus to arrive. Only like 2 minutes, but yeah.
Treachery in the Mechanicum sector.
We're all gathered now. Sala's going to look at Constantinos and just say, "We have been betrayed by tech adepts, brother. These men, they're unto your kin, are they not?"
If they are traitors, they are not kin of me whatsoever.
"I understand, brother. Heed me well. This is not the time for your usual indecision. If you think of anything, see anything, theorize anything that could help us in this, speak up. Don't let somebody else's voice overshadow yours."
Is there anybody I would recollect on that was acting suspicious whatsoever near the Biophage specifically?
So, specifically, yes, you would all remember this because it is in fact Sala who killed him. There was a tech priest at Outpost Zeta who had betrayed the outpost to the Tau. Because Sala accidentally killed him, you couldn't interrogate him. Clearly there was more than just him in terms of the conspiracy.
I meant on the ride over, like the however months we were in warp travel. Was there anybody acting us? That's what I meant.
There were a lot of tech priests studying Tau tech, but so were you. So how suspicious is that really? It's almost like it's the perfect cover for Tau traitors.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is was somebody being really suspicious around the Biophage specific?
Not that you saw. You didn't have access to the Biophage labs.
If I notice anything, squad lead, you'll be the first to hear about it.
Sala's just going to give a heavy visual nod in response.
Alright, and with that, you hear the familiar screaming jets of Gracchus in his Corvus Blackstar. The Corvus Blackstar descends down, essentially doing a combat extraction, which is the Corvus Blackstar basically breaks to a hover directly above you. Ramps go down, you're expected to jump in, and I assume you all do.
Yep, we all jump in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mere seconds after the last of you has had your toes touch these ramps, the Corvus Blackstar jets off again, forcing you to lock your mag boots as you climb aboard. And immediately crackling over the Vox comes the voice of Gracchus. "Well, Squad Ignis, seems like a real mess. I'm uploading the additional data we have on the Tau town we believe the traitors have fled to. And I'm heading straight to the resupply point. The drop pod should have already been fired and made contact with the surface."
May the God Emperor guide you in this effort, Gracchus.
"The God Emperor clearly guides your hand, Barbus. I have the utmost faith in the completion of this mission, so long as your steady and devout hands are upon the trigger of your weapon."
So long as...
I love this man. I love him.
Black Templar joke, baby.
He's my favorite. I love him.
So long as my twin hearts still beat, the Tau will bleed this day.
My heart and robotic heart beat only because of you, Barbus, so you can add an extra pair to your devotion.
That much is true, Brother Gracchus.
The Corvus Blackstar is screaming through the air, and once more the Vox crackles as Gracchus begins talking to you over Vox. "Squad Ignis, I have some good news and some bad news. I am transmitting our orbital scans of the Tau Town Psi Ikel D straight to your cartograph. The unfortunate news is that our scans have picked up some form of force field, else we would have nuked it from orbit, but a large battery of anti-air guns protecting what appears to be a Tau airfield. As such, whilst I have been cleared for full assistance during this mission, I cannot guarantee my support, as I will have to do high-speed runs to avoid their guns and their response craft. I have performed a personal scan of the surrounding terrain and have found 3 sites I can land the Corvus Blackstar at and attune its sensors to throw off detection. In other words, you have 3 runs.
Copy. Thank you, Brother Gracchus. Can I do the little thingy now?
We are expecting a garrison strength cadre. This is some battlesuits, some warriors, possible auxiliaries, led by what is known as a cadre fireblade, protecting the town. In other words, disciplined infantry led by a veteran warrior. And, well, considering there is high priority targets, we're expecting a reinforcement force within the hours. Our best estimates, you have 4 hours to breach the town and recover the canisters.
August will set the chrono.
Oh my fucking god.
4 hours on arrival, that is, August. You've set your chrono incorrectly. I can see through the cameras.
Get fucked, Wade.
August nods, winds it back, and holds it ready.
Sal's going to get on the Vox, and he's going to adjust the little doohickey on his head so that only Garthiel can hear him. Brother Garthiel.
Garfiel's head snaps round. Yes, squad lead.
Does Garthiel reply over private Vox or squad Vox or out loud?
It'll be private.
Okay.
If you raise your hand against a brother again, you will face censure. Do not test this.
Does it not happen in your chapter, cousin?
It does not. And it does not happen in the Deathwatch.
Yes, squad lead.
With that, the Corvus Blackstar jets down to the resupply point. You all quickly hurry out of the Corvus Blackstar, hauling in a small personal cargo drop pod, taking out the stummers, which are handed both to Garthiel and August to perform stealthy advanced recon. A stummer, for those who don't know, is a personal field of silence that can be deployed for a short time, as well as the all-important locator beacon. You hand that and a demolition charge to Constantinus so that you can hopefully pull off some sabotage to the Tau airfield or infrastructure. And beyond that, it's just grabbing ammunition, pouches, and whatever else you may need for this mission from the resupply pod. And once more, the Corvus Blackstar jets off. Within 10 minutes, you have arrived at the outskirts of Psi Ikel D, and Gracchus crackles over the Vox once more.
I'll get you as close as I can, Ignis. Do you want to hot drop it, or do you want to land outside the sensor range?
Let us take a stealth approach. Let the enemy remain blind to our support. If we strike too soon, they will know of Gracchus' Corvus Blackstar.
Squad lead. With the sound of my engines and hydraulics, I do not believe that would be the best course of action for us. I would sell us out the second we got in earshot.
Yes, squad lead. Constantinos is correct. A full-on assault will surprise him just as equally as stealth.
But that's not what I said.
I know.
Barbas is going to ask Gracchus. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Brother Gracchus, well, how exactly far is their sensor range?
Truth be told, Barbas, we've done plenty of flybys with the Corvus Blackstars, but we're not sure how well Tau sensory equipment and our stealth fields interact. I could get you within 100 meters, I might have to drop you at 2k. I can never be sure.
Squad lead, we are unsure quite how far their sensors reach. I believe We'll be taking our chances either way.
What do you think, Brother August?
August is a bit stiff when he turns to respond.
I do believe that stealth may be the better option in this scenario, but I cannot shake the feeling that something will go wrong.
Brother Gracchus, how far out in on-foot travel time are you thinking of dropping us if we take the stealth approach?
I was going to play it safe and drop you 1 kilometer out.
The time lost by hoofing it on foot is minimal. With 4 hours, 2 minutes travel is hardly a waste. Brother Dima, would you like to lend your voice to this conversation?
For the second time, squad lead, I vote for the stealthy approach. It has not failed us so far, and if the town know what we're capable of, then we best take them by surprise rather than head on assault where they're waiting for us. Glares at Garfield.
Do I notice it?
Oh yeah, you notice it.
I'll just slowly turn my head, just stare at you.
Sala's just going to respond to Gracchus. We'll take the stealth approach, brother, come what may.
Understood. Best of luck, Ignis. Vox me when you need me, and I will rain hellfire upon them. Just let me know what I'm firing at. I'll make sure the proper rounds are loaded. Response time will be around 30 seconds. Emperor, go with you.
And with that, the Corvus Blackstar banks, descends, staying low to the ground. You hear the kick and hum as the stealth fields begin to activate and the sensory scrambling equipment begins to stir up and begin broadcasting interference so that you may pass undetected. 1 kilometer out from the normally peaceful town of Sai-Ikel-D, the Corvus Blackstar touches down for the briefest of moments. You disembark, and the Corvus Blackstar tears off into the sky, disappearing over a nearby mountain. The terrain around you is gentle sloping hills. Again, arid, but the vegetation here still looks quite healthy and is seemingly very fertile despite the absence of water. Off in the distance, you can see the town. It has a small glowing blue ring around it and strange circular disc and dome-like architecture, and it's very alien. Everything looks very clean. There doesn't appear to be any smog, any pollution. All their energy appears to be green and almost overflowing.
It looks like a dead city.
Konstantinos, can you detect anything?
Barv, am I allowed to roll?
Have you got binoculars?
I do.
Alright, yes you can. Give me an awareness check. Konstantinos, having a survey of the town through your binoculars, the first thing you see with your expertise in defensive warfare is that around the town is a poorly constructed defensive bulwark of a energy shield ring. The energy shield appears to be projected outwards from pylons staked into the ground around the city. Although the ring is very tall, and likely those energy fields are quite strong, the pylons themselves are a very clear weakness that could easily be destroyed and create large openings in their defenses, of which they have no real bunkers or earthworks. It really seems like they've hastily thrown up this fence and called it good. The Tau's lack of defensive capabilities disgusts you to your core. Furthermore, though, you can see patrols of fire warriors. There are also civilians in this town, and worst of all, you absolutely can see aircraft taking off and resupplying from this airfield. Active aircraft in your area.
So when you say civilians, is it just Tau civilians, or is there a mix of, disgusting?
There would, in fact, be some humans. You would catch a few humans.
Ugh. Squad lead. It seems that they have hastily and almost... it's the most amateur work of defensive preparations I've ever seen before. It's honestly remarkable on how bad it is.
Meanwhile, Barbus, you also taking a look through your special eyes.
Yes!
You can, in fact, see much the same as Konstantinos, but what you note is that there is a much denser concentration of fire warriors towards the airfield. And the airfield isn't like anything you've ever really seen before as a Starties. Rather than a large, sprawling strip of ground, it appears to be a series of platforms from which fighters take off and land in near ballerina-esque feats of easy movement.
The airfield is unusual, Squad Lead. Its design is most alien to me. It is incredibly small. They practice omnidirectional landings, Squad Lead. Instead of landing on a runway like that of a Marauder bomber, they land on platforms and take off vertically. It is most unusual.
Interesting. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, brothers. Something is amiss. We should not let this show of ramshackle defenses twist us into believing that fate is in our favor.
Swear to God, if there is one more joke about how many twists of fate I have, the entire Deathwatch, and I mean the entire Deathwatch, are going back to the Lance of Penance.
I will turn this mission around right now.
Oh my god.
Good lord. Right, crack on.
The inactivity, Squad Lead, makes me uneasy. This Barbas is like shifting a little bit.
Constantinos will give a box click of agreement.
Does anyone see any tech priests?
No.
The parameters here, they are too loose. We do not know our enemy as well as we should. There are loyalist elements within the mix that are not as loyal as previously thought. I am not a fan of these.
If I may turn my suspicions into tactical reasoning, the defenses might be purposely weakened so that whenever we're in the city and more visible, they could coordinate their more centralized forces to counterattack us more efficiently. And the defenses are just a ploy to distract us.
I loathe to overstep, Constantinos, but I fear this might be inaccurate. The Tau, they will not hold ground. They will give it, and they will take it back in equal measure. They are offensive in their way of war. Some Mont, Kai, it baffles me their language, but their doctrines lie purely upon the offense. They will not be accustomed to receiving a heavy attack.
Understood, Brother Argus. Then I stand potentially corrected.
Are there any, what we're looking at, is there any, obvious cover points for us if we decide to move in? Is there anywhere we could just, go cover to cover, or would we just be exposed moving across this 1 kilometer?
There is a lot of soft sloping hills, so the ground, there's no, clear lines of sight, apart from where you guys kind of are now, where the hills are a bit bigger. As you get closer and closer, there won't be good points of cover. You'll have to kind of crawl forward a bit, but the terrain is enough that if you keep your head down, it will keep you mostly obscured, as long as you don't mess up anything with your movements. Additionally, the Tau haven't set up watchtowers. Again, as Constantinos said, that these defenses are very poorly erected. It seems very much like they've basically put up a fence to hold back a full offensive, which is a bit silly, but seems to be what they've done.
August.
Aye.
When you say they dislike giving or taking ground, does that imply they do not like ambush tactics either?
On the contrary, it is,
He pauses.
it is an unclean way of war. Dishonest. They move up, they strike, they continue moving. It is about momentum. Additionally, their battle suits are ready to strike very quickly and with little warning. It is unannounced.
Kev looks around at what they're doing.
It is my belief that we might encounter that thorn in our side, the Commander de Johan. He tried to trap us once.
I believe these terrible fortifications are an invitation, to say the least.
Barbas, who up until this point has been fidgeting a bit, seems a bit irritated now. This is enough deliberation, Squad. Time is of the essence. Let us move. Failure is not an option.
Of course, no more delays, brothers. Right, here's the approach. We move in until the cover fails. When the cover does, August, Garfield, when that happens, I want you to jet back in. This may end up being closer to our full frontal assault plan in the first place, but At least this way they still don't know about the Corvus Black Star.
Do you give the order to engage, squad lead?
Wait until my final command, but you will have blood.
Excellent.
Priority target, squad lead.
Our priorities are stopping all things air support denying. Ergo, we destroy the pylons, we take out the air batteries, and then we kill everything.
I am in agreement with this plan. Let us move.
I missed the rhino.
Yeah, as soon as the squad starts moving, August sets the chrono and attaches it to his belt.
4 hours have begun. Without further ado, you begin your approach towards Ikel D. Can I get silent move checks from everyone? No, sorry. Concealment checks from everyone. You as a squad are mostly managing to move into these concealed dells and keeping your heads low. But there is a moment where Sala is essentially cresting a hill and a Tau patrol is on the other side and has to quickly throw himself flat in a desperate bid not to be spotted. The Tau patrol moves on, luckily, but it was a close run thing. You are now approaching the pylons. It's effectively within sprinting distance for you. They're pretty big, they're about twice your height, but they look quite thin. Genuinely, you think even a las cannon shot would be enough to take them down on this close of an inspection, but you know that as soon as you fire that las cannon and that pylon goes down, the Tau are going to know you're here. On the other side of that pylon lies a few scattered houses, and easily within 600 meters or so, you can see the edge of the Tau airfield.
Could we not simply tear it out of the ground and put it back when we've passed?
If I was knowledgeable of the Tau techno-sorcery, I could answer with a degree of certainty. But that plan is a bit simple, wouldn't you suggest?
I could just slice through it. I have a power sword.
Konstantinos,
Aye.
with what you know of Tau tech, is this even plausible?
It is theoretically possible, squad lead, but there's no confirmation on if it's possible.
Do we still value the element of surprise, or do we begin our assault now? That is our two options.
Even if we retain the element of surprise, how long is that truly going to last once we get into the complex? This place is too big, too many patrols. I hate to say it, but I think that Garthiel's approach might actually be our best option.
It always has been, squad lead.
Then I propose this, squad lead. A sudden assault, rather than a discreet one. They will know we are here, but they will not be able to track us down as long as we keep moving. It will make it more difficult for them to catch us.
Understood. How about this? As soon as you fire that last cannon shot, Garthiel and August, jump in, clear the immediate area, and we'll follow on foot as fast as we can, heading straight for the airfield and the anti-air batteries.
I believe it would be best if we let Garthiel handle the destruction of the pylon. Giving them knowledge that we have anti-tank weaponry would be unwise.
Understood, brother.
I'm in agreement here.
Let me slice through it.
Brother Garthiel, if you would like to do the honor of kicking this off for us.
My pleasure.
Garthiel will get a running... He'll activate his stummer, just so he makes a bit less noise when he screams. As he'll run up to it, power sword active, and two hands swing it straight in.
Two-handing your power sword, you cut through this thin pylon like butter. A large spark flies off and the pylon and shield disappear in a loud cacophony of electronic shrieks and metal screeches. As the pylon goes down and clatters to the ground, sending up a cloud of dust, and you all begin sprinting forward, August and Garthiel's jump packs blazing, as you can already hear klaxons blaring, fire warriors marshalling forwards, civilians panicked and running to their homes, running to shelters, as the Imperium has arrived to this small town.
Can I make an awareness check as we run through to do some target identification?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me an awareness check. Barbas, moving your way forward, immediately as you're keeping eyes open left and right, your las cannon ready as the squad advances forward, you notice that there is a severe absence of Tau patrols in this area. By luck or sheer happenstance, you've managed to find a small weakness in the patrol route. And now, seemingly, have a clear 30-minute run towards the airfield.
And I'm not seeing anything on my spectrums or anything, am I?
No, not at all. You genuinely found a complete gap in their defenses by sheer luck.
So as we're all sprinting, Barber's kind of chug herself.
Squad lead, we have encountered a weakness in their defense. There are no patrols. We will be able to keep some semblance of surprise, and they will not be able to track us as easily.
This is crazy. I can't believe it, Barbust, but it seems as though fate is twisting itself in our favor.
No, don't touch it.
Fucking banned!
You already
done.
spent your twists of fate, wench!
And then all of a sudden, one of those trees flickers and 3 reptiles appear and blast Salah to death immediately. No fate points.
Well, it's
Except for
funny
the
you
Tau
should say it.
anti-tank mine.
No, I didn't mean
So-
that. I didn't mean it. Stop, please. I didn't mean it. I was joking.
As you sprint forward through the town, the small Tau dome homes zipping by as you all move at full speed towards the airfield. August and Garthiel arriving first on the outskirts. The anti-aircraft guns already beginning to turn to bring their guns to bear on your squad. What do? You've managed to reach them before they have opened fire, but there are 6 of them and you are only 2.
Can you describe what these anti-aircraft guns look like? Like where they are? Are they?
So what each anti-aircraft battery appears to be a tower dome-like construction, spaced about 100 meters apart from each other. On top is a strange array of weapons that you do not recognize nor understand. These batteries are then connected to their thick tower base. And in addition to this, there appears to be small disc-like things with antennas on top, docked to the side of the towers with a pair of what you recognize as the weapons wielded by the Pathfinders underneath.
Sorry, how many barrels each?
So the actual anti-aircraft weapons, they're just weird and archaic. They look like they've got one, you think. The actual buildings themselves have 4 drones attached to each. You're pretty sure where you and Garthiel are. You've kind of run under their guns already.
Garthiel will just do a quick take at August.
You take the left, August. I'll take the right. Slay them.
As you say.
August will vox to the rest of the squad.
Brothers, take cover or take evasive maneuvers. The anti-air guns are training on you. Garfield and I can only buy you some time.
In addition, further in the distance, the pair of you can see Tau Fire Warriors and what appears to be some crisis suits moving towards your position.
Squad lead. Crisis suits. Inbound.
Alright, what do you 2 do then? You've got seconds, really. Each of you have a round.
Garthiel, shifting elegantly with his jump pack, slides along the ground before jumping with a quick burst into the air, pulling a pin and slam dunking it in, boosting off backwards onto the ground as the grenade explodes.
The blast of the crack grenade catches your back, essentially, as the crack grenade slams into the moving mechanism of the anti-aircraft gun, immediately disabling its heavier gun. But the 4 smaller turrets then disengage from the gun, all of them floating around as strange mechanical devices, bringing their guns to be trained on you, Garthiel, as they open fire. The Tau gun drones open up, their pulse carbines hosing you down with fire. 2 shots striking you in the head successively, cracking your eye lens and forcing your head back and blood to be drawn from your brow. As another 2 shots strike into your leg, staggering you for a moment as one punches through the soft part in your armor and draws blood. Meanwhile, August
will survey the landscape. Is there anything connecting these gun batteries? Any?
No, is a open ring around the airfield.
August hops up to the gun barrel, seeing it lower and seeing how Garthiel's turned out. He instead decides to roll a crack grenade down the barrel, hoping it will either impact against a loaded shell or hit the bottom and go off by itself, before trying to jet away.
The crack grenade rolls down the strange square and half-hollow barrel as the gun begins to glow with blue energy as it moves to target the rest of Kill Team Ignis. You land on the other side of the tower as once more the 4 strange dome-like floating machines detach themselves from the tower, opening up on you with their pulse carbines. Taking 3 shots in total.
Ugh. Oh shit, that's gonna be 13 damage. Ugh.
As the guns are beginning to line up towards the foot slugs of Kill Team Ignis, Sala.
Krakus, the air guns. They're exposed and distracted. Transmitting coordinates now. Bring them down.
Affirmative, squad lead.
And you hear the roar of engines over the Vox. Varus here, coming at you once again from the Void. Sorry about the shorter episode today, but life has been hectic this week. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to share your favourite moments or any feedback you might have on the series in the comments. We really appreciate it. As always, a massive thank you to the patrons, and an extra big thank you to our new patrons, Mitch W. and Aldine Mitchell. Becoming a patron really helps us out, and you get access to the full uncut recordings of our episodes. If you'd like to support the channel, but can't afford to donate monthly, I have a Ko-fi for one-off donations. Don't worry if you can't afford to support at all. Watching, sharing, and being part of a community is more than enough. Don't forget to join our Discord, as we have a community campaign. Starting there, our first mission has already happened, so you too can play Deathwatch, and new players are more than welcome. Links to everything I've just mentioned is down in the description below. And remember, until next time,
Suffer not the alien to live.